Corrina! How are you, Queen?
Hi, I'm doing really well, thanks.
I know that. You sure bloody are. So, Corrina, just the reason I'm all giddy about chatting to Corrina today is she's actually in our sisterhood, which is what happens after you complete Soul to Soul and you graduate. And she just did the most epic share recently, where all my community and myself included were just like, yes, Corrina. There's just so much magic that she's going to share towards the end of our chat today. But before we get started, Corrina, I'd love for you just to introduce yourself, where you're from and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so I'm Corrina. I'm 39 years old, 40th year this year. Yeah, the best year ever. And I'm from England. I live in Leicester at the moment, but I'm in the UK. And yeah, I joined Soul to Soul February last year, I think it was. So it's been over a year. And then I followed that through with Queens in Demand, which has been amazing. And it's just been a whole journey, just amazing.
Oh, sister. I mean, before we even get into it, I just want to say that you're looking at a woman that came in so scared, right, Corrina?
Mm-hmm.
So scared. I even got her to listen to her breakthrough call from a year ago. Right? And what was the thing that stood out to you with that?
Yeah, just this scared little mouse, just really anxious, and used the word worried like a million times throughout the whole call, and just didn't feel that worthiness, or that I could have my dream, just that life had stopped for me. And yeah, it was a really low point.
So let's go a bit deeper. If you just close your eyes for a moment, Corrina, and go back. I know you're cooking with gas right now in your life, but if we just go back to that time, pre-Soul to Soul, on that call with me, what were you so worried about? Where was all that angst and worry coming from? I know it's uncomfortable to go back there.
Yeah. So the greatest worry I had was, it's all about my age. So I think I was 38 at the time, and it was just the fact I hadn't had that relationship, and then the children, because I just love children, and that's something that I've always wanted, my own family, and I work with children, and it's just every day seeing that in front of me, I just want it as well. And I just given up. I was worried about my infertility. I think all the stress had just messed around with all my hormones, so everything was affecting me health-wise as well, and just felt that was not going to happen for me.
Yeah, and if we just go back to that energy, like it was.
Mm-hmm.
What I did for the sake of our chat today, I told Corrina, I actually pulled up my notes. Now, I don't do calls anymore, but this was a while ago. And so she agreed that we could share it. But it's really what I wrote down here is, Corrina had such a fear of time running out. There was so much armor up around you of protection.
Mm-hmm.
And underneath all that protection was a broken heart.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling like it's never been about you. Right?
Yeah.
The men that you attracted were all... Pardon?
Loads of walls all around me. It's just that defence. Yeah. It's been there my whole life. So,
yeah. And you were like, Lucy, relationships always end. The guys are always unavailable.
Yeah.
That's the world that you were living in. And I've got written down here, you said they were no-shows, they ghost me, men don't understand me, I'm never a priority. There's just always something that goes wrong.
Yeah.
So we're going to get to the good stuff, but there is a really happy ending story. Corrina's like, oh.
Yeah.
But the reason we're able to go back to this is because this is just to show and celebrate how far she's come when she decided, like, no more.
Mm-hmm.
So you wrote here, time makes you really panicky. The worst part for you about not solving this was that you would miss out on family, and this was sucking your life force.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember everything, and just yeah, it just felt nothing would work for me. I just remember feeling, as I've had lots of therapy in the past, and I was told there was nothing left for me. I'd exhausted all the resources, and so I just buyed into that, and I didn't feel there was anything that could help me. And I remember mentioning that to you, Lucy. What if you can't help me? I'm not helpable.
Oh my God, I'm getting full body chills. So I want you girls to hear that right now. This is how many of you truly feel. Even you might not even have known that consciously, but underneath the kind of like, oh, I'm fine, I've got this, is this deep pit in your stomach of like, I don't even know if someone can help me. I don't know if I'm helpable. I feel like I'm damaged goods no matter what I do. And Corrina's therapist confirmed that shitty story to her, saying, well, no, this is the end of the road. Mm-hmm. What the fuck? It's how dare someone tell you that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Seriously. Like, thank God there was a voice inside of you that had a glimpse of hope that thought maybe this just might help me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, seriously, like so emotional. No, but at the thought, Corrina, that there are so many women out there right now that, you know, won't do soul to soul or get other help that actually does work. And if you didn't do this right now, you would be in a very different place. And that's why it makes me emotional.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Totally. I don't know what I'd be doing. I was just sharing this with a friend recently. Gosh, if I was as I was last year or in the past, I just wouldn't be able to make the decisions I'm making, the changes in my life. I'm so glad, because I'd followed you for a few weeks because I was just unsure what should I do, and yeah, just that voice said just try it again, because I think I did try. I put it down for a breakthrough call, and then I chickened out at the last minute and thought, oh no, I'm not ready, and then came back and really glad.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that as well, because we have that. And honestly, you know, girls watching this, I would much rather you, if you're in that place where you know you're not ready to follow through, of course there's going to be fear. There's always fear when we get out of our comfort zone and step up. So that's just a given. But if you're in that place where you know you're going to pull the pin, don't even bother booking in, because that's okay. You know, we're not here to get you ready. What I love is Corrina honoured herself. She's like, not ready. And then she said, no, hang on, now I am. And we've got a lot of people in Soul to Soul right now that are the second wave. They're like, oh my God, I waited a year and I'm like, holy shit, like I am ready now. So it's such a personal thing where you'll just feel that thing in you that even though you're terrified, you're like, I've got no other choice but to do this. Mm-hmm. That's, even if it's just a tiny voice, it's that voice. Honor that voice, because that is your heart.
Yeah.
Look where it brought you, Corrina.
Definitely.
One of the things, Corrina, there's so much we've got to celebrate, and you know, this could be a really long testimonial, but I want to keep it really succinct and get to the juicy bits. One of the things I wrote down that you felt was that no one sees me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when you came to me, you were so, like you said, a little mouse, softly spoken. Oh my goodness. And this has taken some time for you. This is not, I want you girls to hear this. This wasn't like an overnight sensation for Corrina where suddenly she's like self-expressed and taking up space and da-da-da. Because that's not even true. That's not how it works. You know, some people, yes, they get the medicine from Soul to Soul very quickly. And then other people, they've gone through more stuff, and it takes that little extra bit of time to really claim it if they've felt very downtrodden. So I just think this is really important to mention, Corrina, that you were feeling so repressed with your self-expression.
Yeah.
And unseen. So could you just talk to how Soul to Soul helped you, just this whole process? Even, you know, I know you have a follow-up program, Queens in Demand, but this is about Soul to Soul. just share with these soul sisters of yours, why did this help you? Why did this get you out of your comfort zone? And why are you now living your best life, which we'll get to?
Yeah. So, yeah, I've always had this label of low self-confidence, low self-esteem, shy, right from childhood. And I was just living in that and just being this small, like my whole voice and everything was just tiny. People say, speak up, all this. And I just felt the process of soul to soul was just a way of tuning back into my emotions, my past, just really healing that and allowing myself to expand more and just loving that, loving myself more, knowing that I can and I have a voice and what I say makes a difference. And yeah, it's not overnight, but it's just been gradual every time. And then having that leap out of the comfort zone, just at times, just to share a live or like, yeah, be loud with the voice has been tremendous, because once I do it, I just love it. And then I just keep doing it. And it's like practicing, it's this muscle. And just, yeah, it's just been a whole transformation, and it's just changed my whole self. It wasn't, initially I went into it thinking I'm going to sort out my personality and I'll be in a relationship, but this has actually just made me who I am as a person. And yeah,
we're not changing any. We're not changing you. You are already magnificent. It's just that if you think of yourself as a vase, there was just all this mud and cobwebs around this vase, or Americans say whatever, vase. And so we couldn't see it. And then we're just peeling back the mud and the cobwebs, and then there's this sparkling crystal vase that was always enough, always magnificent, perfect. We wouldn't change the shape of the vase or the color of the vase or the type of crystal that it is. It's perfect. And that's what you're talking about. Yeah, so there's no coming in here and teaching you how to be with a guy or who you've got to be, which is what Corrina thought it was. Well, if I just learn how I've got to get my personality, hell's no. This is about you, like you said before, expanding the beautiful brilliance of who you are. So I love how you just said that. And the other thing I love that you just said, Corrina, was it was this muscle that I was flexing. And that's what it is, girls. It's not an overnight sensation. Don't come in day one of soul to soul and be like, am I different yet? People do all the time. They're like, have I changed? I'm like, sister, slow your roll. Okay, it's 8 weeks. And every single day in the 8 weeks, it's like life or death in there. It's not just this 8 weeks, let's just all talk about kumbaya. That's not going to change jack shit. Right? It's about the fact that, Corrina, you came in right out of your comfort zone and you showed up. That's why you changed your life. This program's not going to work for you if you want it done to you. And there were plenty of times, Corrina, I know you probably admit that you wanted to run.
Yeah. Definitely. Like, lives were so, I wasn't even on Facebook before. But it's just,
that's so many women come to me, they're like, I'm not even on Facebook, I don't even know how I found you, Lucy. I'm like, well, the universe works in mysterious ways. And so we've got to stop putting things in our way. All these, you're just putting so many nuggets of gold today. So for those of you that aren't Facebook people, or I don't like social media, get off that. This is about an outcome. This is about something that has been created to help you. So stop judging the way you want to heal and actually realize that you found me in this group, in this process, for a reason. Because Corrina could easily have just gone, well, I don't want to be in a group and I want to do it this way, or I don't want to do Facebook, but you didn't do that.
No.
But it was probably going through your mind.
It did, just right at the beginning. But yeah, you just see the benefits. It just keeps you drawn in and you just learn, evolve. Well, so glad I did.
It's because, Corrina, I want to keep putting this back to you. You were the one showing up, doing the work, and that takes courage. Okay. It would have been much easier for you to, you bounced off the first call because you're like, oh, I'm not ready. But you could have easily come in and then gone, oh, this is getting too real. But you didn't. You were like, this is getting really real, but I'm going to stay. And then you stayed even beyond the 8 weeks to get yourself into another follow-up program because you're like, I want to keep going. I want to see this through. And there was that moment, do you remember when you were like, she was feeling quite triggered. I don't even know. I don't think it was to do with, I think it was just in general, you were just getting frustrated and you were suddenly just like, I was told that no one can really help me. And I'm like, Corrina, that's the shittiest story I've ever heard. I think that was a moment for you where you were kind of like just on the fence of wanting to bail on yourself, but you didn't. Do you remember?
I think so. I had so many times when I'm an overthinker. So I had to keep turning that noise off and just listening here. And that came up a lot for me. It's so much committing to yourself and just putting yourself there as the importance as the prize. I think that is the thing that kept me going. And I'm somebody that needs that extra support along the way. So I'm really glad I continued on because that's just helped solidify more. But the whole process in Soul to Soul is just, it's like an awakening and just awareness. And
well, it's integration, Corrina. It's more than, I love that you said that. It is an awakening, but versus the therapy that you did, you were the one that had to integrate this work the way that I'd set it up. You were activating the process, by doing the Facebook Lives, by sharing yourself so courageously. That's why you shifted. It's not information. That's the last thing that you needed. It's being in action, being seen by the queens. Even at the retreat you came to, got up in front of the whole room, and yes, we took a few goes, and then suddenly we're like, whoa, there's her voice. How epic is that?
Yeah, that was amazing.
You got to see who you were, and you were like, whoa, was that me? So listen, I want to get to the juicy stuff, but I love this chat we're having so much because there's a lot of truth in here that I really want you girls to hear. That I'm not saying it's some pretty little program that's got a bow around it, because that's not what you need right now. There are plenty of times that Corrina was scared during the program, and there was plenty of times that she was like, oh, but that's truth because it goes really deep. And that's why I say you do have to be ready to face yourself, because otherwise you will not last in the 8 weeks. And don't worry, our team know who's ready and who's not, so you don't have to worry about that. But really the consequence for you, Corrina, I wrote down here, was depression. Was that it would be devastating. Not being a mum, and why am I even here? That's where you were. Then you told me you were hiding behind work.
Yeah, that's been my biggest coping mechanism forever. And it's horrible hearing that now. Just but it's not totally giving up.
It's not horrible, Corrina. I want you to hear this. It's all part of letting it get to where it needed to get to in order for the huge up level. Sometimes we just have to go. We've got to go to the shit. We've got to have everything fall apart, right? And that's because then you were able to rise up like a phoenix. You had to get to the point of just no return. Well, not everyone has to get to the point of no return, but the stakes have to be high if you're ready to actually change your life. You can't just be like, oh yeah, I think I just want to have a few breakthroughs. Soul to Soul is not for you. This is about actually having the courage to look at all the crappy stories you've been living in, the conditioning, the past that hasn't been dealt with. You were saying you're avoiding family events, and the worst part was you felt that something was wrong with you. Deep down, you were like, I feel shame. I feel that this must be something wrong with me. And that is so many women in here that are watching this.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that now?
There's nothing wrong.
let's 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 get to what you did want. Okay, so I could keep going on. I'm not going to go into more of that because I know it's like. But the other thing that you said was you felt like a failure, and then it just men don't choose you. Okay, so that's the end of that section. Mm-hmm. And you had given up. Let's get to what you did want. You said to me, she hasn't heard this, so this is in real time. You said, "Oh my gosh, having this soulmate relationship would feel very exciting. I'd be waking up with a purpose. I would enjoy my life. I'd park work. I would do my dancing. It feels surreal. It feels like I'm endlessly smiling. Look at this smile. It feels perfect. You said there'd be no restrictions. I just enjoy every moment. And I have this warm feeling in my body everywhere. I feel safe. I trust this man. And I have more freedom and creativity." I said, "How do you feel about yourself, Corrina?" You said, "She's a very special woman. And I feel at ease."
Wow. Yeah, yeah.
How does that feel now? That's what you said to me a year ago. How do you feel right now in this moment with all those things that you thought were just, oh my gosh, surreal?
It's amazing. Yeah, everything I said is how I'm feeling. Yeah.
Wow.
It's
The first time I've done that. How cool is that? Like the big reveal.
Yeah, I can't quite remember it all that I'd written because I didn't love mission statement and rewritten it.
This was just on the call. What you were sharing.
Oh, yeah. Because that's totally how I totally feel I've partitioned work more. I'm looking also for that change to my career that I can just expand in, but I'm cutting down all that monotonous hours and I'm living life more and I'm sharing my life with someone that's amazing. Yeah.
Talk to us. I'm going to shut up. Talk to us about this man. What does it feel like? Why is this different?
So this guy from the beginning, like this is all through COVID time as well. Met on the dating app, but just right from the beginning, I've seen his profile and he was different. Just really honest person, and then we just sort of clicked, just connected straight away. Just able to be I can just be so expressive, and I keep doing that, and I've shared my vulnerability with him, so he knows I'm this overthinking person, and I will sometimes be really emotional, and he's there for me. And yeah, I've not sat and thought, is this the soulmate? I'm just enjoying everything, and he wants family and children, and I can see a future. He's the first guy that's actually put me in his future. He's suggesting like plans where we'd be on holiday.
Okay, I put mascara on.
Like,
I'm about to lose that mascara. So Mama Bear got dressed up, but like Corrina, everything about this is so golden in an energy form. You're not meant to be sitting there going, is this my soulmate? Is this my soulmate? Right? Because that's still heady. And I love that you said that. You're just like, I'm not even asking, is he my soulmate? I felt the same with Anam. I wasn't there going, is he, isn't he? I was just like, I don't know where this is going. I just know that this feels right.
Yeah.
This is where you are, honey.
So exciting.
It's just like so exciting. I'm like lit up over here like a Christmas tree, because seriously, this is why I do this work. Corrina, now you can see how ludicrous it was that someone was saying, oh, this is as good as it's going to get and you can't have what you want. It's fucking bullshit. Mm-hmm. You are powerful as hell, and this is what I say to you girls, do not work with anyone if they are not holding you to your highest, okay? Do not work with that person. Do not work with that therapist. Do not be told that you are damaged goods or there's something wrong with you. It's bullshit. Corrina is a fucking powerhouse. And now she's reaping all of these benefits. Didn't he help you get a car recently? Talk to us about that, Corrina.
So, yeah, there was this little hint of something being hidden about what he did for a living. But he was really open about that as well. He'd had a lot of hurt from something he'd opened up to the previous partner. So, but he works in Mini. So I already owned a Mini and I was due for renewal, and then I was looking around and shared it with him, and then he just sort of said, yeah, I know, I've got a deal for you. And then he sort of opened up about what he did, and I just couldn't believe it. And he managed to get me this electric car deal out of nowhere. Nobody's actually getting them like in my community, in the area I live. Bumped me up the waiting list 8 months. Yeah, the money is amazing. It drives amazing. And the funny thing is, I had to go in and see him there, and he was so blushing.
Best story ever.
Yeah. So, that's so amazing. Yeah, and he's also really big on law of attraction, and he was just like, we were just meant to meet at this point in time. Yeah.
Because you weren't ready for him any earlier, and it's not a coincidence, and he wouldn't have been ready for you any earlier. It's not a coincidence that he's done his own work. Okay, this is not just like this is just luck. It's not luck. It's energy, it's vibration, it's frequency, and Corrina has been working really hard to step into the highest version of herself, to her queen self. And now that she's arrived, she could have bailed on herself. No, she followed through to do whatever she needed to do. And now she's literally, you are sitting there, honestly, with your soulmate. I'm just calling it. Not that I want to put labels on things. It's just everything you're sharing. I can feel it so deeply, Corrina. You're so relaxed. You're not second guessing it. This man, I could feel him before you even said it. He was so excited when you came in. And listen to the coincidence that he works for Mini, and you've always had Minis. Mm-hmm. Boom. He was just like, oh, it's a sign. So I love the universe. The universe is so, so magical. It brought me to me. It's bigger than me in my program. It's, it's just, I'm a conduit, and I just truly feel that every woman that comes in and does this, whether you are into Facebook or not, don't underestimate that the universe is working for you. Mm-hmm. And it's guiding you and showing you what you need. And then it's going to come down to whether you choose to take it. So I think this is interesting. My baby girl and my husband are coming in. If you would like a metaphor. Hello, Stevie. Nick's my dog. Hello. Best testimonial ever. Yeah, it's just full of magic. And we set that as an intention, didn't we, Corrina? This was going to be you just, coming in and really sharing your story from your heart for the women in here that really need to be inspired to know what's possible. Yeah. I can safely say I think you absolutely nailed it.
Just a little bit extra is just a few weeks before I connected with this guy, that was a time where I just expanded even more, and I was more lighter, more joyful every day, and there were signs happening for me everywhere. It just seemed like I had totally got in alignment, and that was where everything was showing up more. And yeah.
But that's, sorry, I was just on mute because my baby was making noise. Yeah, exactly, Corrina. You were just sitting deeper down into the work, into your heart, expanding, which is what you're saying to the universe is, I'm ready now. Mm-hmm. I'm ready. Mm-hmm. I've never seen anyone more ready. Of course, he's in your life right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm watching this space like a hawk. I'm your new stalker. But listen, what do you want to say to these gorgeous women in here that can really relate to your story, that know that something needs to change? You know, she met him during COVID, okay? Don't be put off by COVID, guys. Goals, I should say. Right, Abella? Don't be put off by anything. There should be nothing that stops you from getting your life. What would you say to these women that know that something needs to change?
I would say just trust in your heart and don't listen to outside voices or previous work that you've done, and take that as that being what's going to happen, and just use this experience, and good things can happen to everyone. Everyone is so worthy, so deserving. There's enough of just joyfulness, wealth, happiness for everyone. So yeah.
Your crown is sparkling very bright right now. Your invisible crown. It's on, baby. It's on. So thank you so much, Corrina. I know this has been a longer testimony, but listen, I don't. Yeah, but like, how could it not be? There was just so much gold in here, and your story. You're like, oh, I just want to share this a little bit more. Like, seeing you shift so exponentially, and that's why, because it had been a year, I wanted to really bring the women watching this back to where you were, because sometimes it's easy to forget. You know, it's like we don't want to go back there. But it's important that you actually also get to reflect, to look at how far you've come, and you don't ever have to go back there. But also, you know, that's a part of you. We don't also want to just be like, oh, that wasn't me. You want to go, yeah, that was me, and look what I've done with that. So huge congratulations, Corrina. We are so proud of you. Really, really proud of you. And listen, you know, the better it gets, the better it gets. That's your story.
Definitely.
So yeah, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story.
Yeah, lovely. It's been brilliant.
What's that?
It's been really good just talking and sharing myself with everyone. If it helps just one person, that's just brilliant.
But isn't that amazing now that you're sitting in this place where you are going to be speaking to people right now? I know that for a fact. People are going to be watching this going, wow. Right, Abella? How incredible that when you use your voice, you are having this big impact, Corrina. When you stay silent, we don't have impact.
Yeah.
So keep going with that. Have fun in your minute. I'm going to end this right now because baby girl needs me.
Yeah.
You.
Thank you.
Bye.